All right, everyone. We're going to talk about somebody that is new to me, but been around forever. Brad Southard, I think is how you pronounce his name. As he says, it's not your grandfather's knife, but it could be. And really, what that means is he builds such high quality, attention to detail, and just fine craftsman knives that these are going to last a long time. So this particular one is the Mini-Tolk, and this is from the Performance series. And we'll talk about a couple different series here in a second. Really cool packaging, kind of vintage looking. This one is from March of 2020. That's not really vintage, okay, I know, but has a little dog tag here with all of the details, foam on the top and the bottom. It's a very cool magnetic packaging case. And you know, I love my packaging. This was loaned in from my buddy Joseph out in Ohio. And yeah, it's small. There's no doubt about it. It's 4 1/8 inch overall with closed with a 3 1/4 inch blade almost. It is so snappy. The action is so great. And this thing is really unique in the fact that it is a frame lock flipper, runs on ceramic bearings, but it doesn't matter if you put lock bar pressure on it or not. It is going to still fly open. I'm trying to put some pressure on there, and there, I've locked it up. Finally. Not really. So it is really hard to lock up. In comparison, you go to a Shirakorov Zero Neon. I don't remember exactly, but slightest bit of lock bar pressure here, if your finger is in the way, it's just not going to open. So this one is super sensitive, and it's very much the same size. Great action when your finger is not anywhere near the lock bar. And I still have to do a video on this one, but we're really talking about this guy today. The action is just great. Solid lockup, feels great in your hand. Even for a small knife, this one's just really, really cool. All right, so you got 4 1/8 closed, 7 3/8 overall, 3.2 inch blade. This one is CPM 20 CV, weighs in at 2.6 ounces. And yeah, we don't really need to go through all of the other specs. Nobody really cares about the edge length anyway. Beautiful stonewash. The milling on the scales are great. And there's really some heavy milling on the inside for weight reduction. See if we can show that here. It's thin. So you see some there on the show side and even here on the lock side. Great access to the lock with some jimping on the lock bar itself. Does have a steel lock bar insert, as you can see. 3D milled clip. Titanium anodized backspacer with this very cool lanyard loop hole, if you will. I love that. And titanium blued pivot collars. Yeah, just awesome. I love this knife. And yeah, I don't love the blade shape. This little hump in the back isn't my favorite. But man, just talk about a cool knife. Made here in the United States. Tempe, Arizona. Brad Southard is in Tempe, Arizona, and makes them all right there. This one is the Performance series. There is also the Customs, which I have here, which is the full-size Tolk. I'm going to do a separate video on this because it is different enough. I didn't want to blur it and make it in the same video. So the Performance series is this guy, which is made completely in the United States. And a lot of the handwork is done by Brad himself. The rest is done by others. And I couldn't really look and see what that meant. I mean, I tried, but it doesn't really say, well, the scales are made here and the blade is cut over there. And it doesn't really describe exactly who does what, but he touches them all himself. He's very clear about that. The custom series, 100% made by him. And then there is a production series where it is a collaboration with Spyderco. And those are done in their Golden, Colorado facility. So again, every one of his knives, regardless of level, is done here in the United States. And I know that's a big thing, and it should absolutely be a big thing. But I've talked about this before. As long as it's a quality made product, I don't care that it is made overseas. The production Hellraisers are made overseas, and I could care less. I couldn't care less. I could care less? I don't know. You tell me. The Shirogorov Neon, made in Russia. Couldn't care less. I have become a Shiro fan. Don't necessarily love this particular Shiro because of the lock bar pressure, and I don't think that the Shiros in general have the most comfortable flipper tabs, especially if you put some lock bar pressure on there unwillingly and or unnoticingly, you go to flip it and it's uncomfortable. Okay. But made in Russia, I don't care. Here's Spyderco Delica. This one is made in Siki City, Japan. You almost have to look at every Spyderco. That's the thing. And nobody cares that they're made in other countries. Nobody cares about Spyderco. But people jump all over Kubi for being made in China. People jump all over Wii and Riot for being made in China. But nobody cares about Spyderco that's made all over the place too. Right? I don't know, guys. Is it just me rambling there? Here it is next to Sharpie. This is a smaller knife. No question. And it takes a little getting used to when you get it in your hand for the first time because it's small and super thin. Overall thickness, forgot to mention that for sure, is 0.397. So 0.4 of an inch. Yeah, basically you know what I mean, right? 0.4 inches. So just under half an inch. And so it does take a little getting used to. So you don't, mishandle it when you get it. But man, it is so satisfying. And the history around it and whatnot, being made in the United States, is always a bonus. Don't get me wrong. But I'm filming this on an iPhone that's made elsewhere and talking into a Shure microphone that is made elsewhere. Like my TV is made elsewhere. Like everything we have is made elsewhere. So I really am over the whole people bashing me for having a knife that's made overseas. Yeah, y'all can just stop. Yeah, what can I tell you? Just to give you a quick comparison between the mini and the full size. And I'll talk about that more in the next video. But this is a full custom version. This is their performance series. So Joseph, thanks a lot for sending these in. These have been a treat. Absolute treat to handle, hang out with, carry, and whatnot. Because, yeah, if you get a chance, I will put a link to the Southard website down below and Instagram. So go check them out. It would be great. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I would greatly appreciate your input. Thanks, guys.